From across Maryland, Virginia, and the District, this is Washington's 24-hour local news leader. News Channel 8 Live This Morning starts right now.
Well, diabetes is one of the leading health concerns for people in this country, but what many people don't realize is that this potentially deadly disease is also affecting pets. Local veterinarian Dr. Katy is here now with more. I think this is probably a surprise to some people that pets can get diabetes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is one of the things. I've been doing this for about 10 years, and as an emergency veterinarian, it's one of the things that I hate the most to see walk through the door is diabetes.
Really?
It is such a difficult condition to treat. It's so difficult to manage, not to mention expensive for the owners, potentially painful for the pets, and in some cases preventable. So that's actually what makes it even sadder for us.
So at the beginning, for pet owners, what are signs that you might see that could tip you off, or are there signs?
Well, there are signs. One of the biggest things that people notice is increase in thirst, increase in urination, maybe even increase in appetite, but losing weight.
Okay.
So anytime you see something along those lines, that's a big dramatic change in your pet. That's time to get them to the vet and say, you know, this is just not normal. It's a change in behavior. It's a change in attitude.
Right.
What do I need to do at this point? And we'll run some diagnostics and we'll see what's going on. And everybody kind of thinks that they know what diabetes is. You know, we all kind of know it has to do with glucose, and that, you know, people can lose a limb from it, or they have to give themselves shots. Well, in animals, it's basically the same thing. There's insulin is what is the biggest part of this condition. Insulin's made in the pancreas, and insulin not only controls glucose, though, it actually helps to move fatty acids and amino acids and electrolytes and glucose into cells. And so it encourages our cells to make protein and to make fat and to, you know, all of these things. So it's really important for our entire body. So if we lose either insulin function or we lose the ability to make insulin in our body, it can actually just wreak havoc on the entire system.
So diabetes in pets sounds like it's quite similar to how it affects a human. What you mentioned, the treatments can be painful for the pet, though. What are the treatment options if your pet is diagnosed with this?
It depends on what kind of diabetes your pet has. Basically, like in people, there's type 1 and type 2.
Interesting.
And so there's not producing insulin or insulin not functioning.
Right.
You know, and that's the difference between type 1 and type 2. And obesity, just like in people, plays a huge role in this. But not only is obesity one of the biggest predisposing factors, some of the things we can't control are breed, even sex of the animal. Female dogs are much more prone to have diabetes, whereas male cats are much more prone to have diabetes. So there are some things that we can control, some things that we can't. Sometimes it's not as difficult to treat diabetes in certain pets, just like in people. Some people are able to be more easily maintained. Other people are checking their glucose every hour, you know, and having to eat or not eat, as you know, depending on what's going on. So it's a very difficult condition to treat.
Is it treated with an injection typically, like in people?
It is. There's dietary therapy. There's insulin therapy. You know, and then there are life-threatening conditions that are associated with this as well. If a pet's not eating and we give them insulin, they can have a major crash.
Right.
Or they can be unregulated even on the insulin and have something what's called DKA, or diabetic ketoacidosis, which is when you're coming to see me as an emergency veterinarian to try and get this under control. So it's a very difficult condition, and the one thing that we can truly do as preventative is try to keep our pets' health, try to keep our pets' weight down, keep them into a good body condition score, and that's about what we can do as far as preventative medicine goes.
And just really quickly, as far as the cost, a lot of stuff with pets is not cheap, and I know some people can actually get insurance for their pets. What are we talking about cost, and can you get your insurance, pet insurance for your animal?
It depends on your insurance provider. Since if it's not a pre-existing condition, then potentially you can get payment for it. It's a very expensive condition. There's a lot of monitoring that goes into it. Insulin itself is not inexpensive, and then the basics of keeping up with the health of that pet, because this is such a widespread disease condition, that there's a lot of things that can go along with it.
All right, well, good information. It's hard to put a price on it, too. We all love our little family pets.
Absolutely.
So they're part of the family. So, all right, Dr. Katy Nelson, good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Thanks so much for all